Thursday afternoon, everybody. It is the 22nd of January, 2025. Hard to believe that. But yeah, sitting here with the Grippy socks because this is the first Grippy sock live stream. I kind of had this idea over the holidays. You know, a lot of my veteran brother and sisters are out there. You know, like we're hurting on a normal day. So, like, you know, to come up on the holidays, man, that's rough for a lot of people, you know, and I can understand that, even though I'm fortunate enough now. I got, you know, great family, got you know, like it was idyllic, really. Excuse me. But I've been there too, in those, shall we call them dark and harsh years. So, you know, the thought came to my mind that 22nd of every month, I need to do a Grippy sock live stream. These Grippy socks were not from the you know, oversharing with my therapist and getting the jacket that makes me hug myself. That has not happened. I don't have a therapist because, well, I would wind up in the jacket and stand into the bouncy room. So those were actually from a procedure I had done back in November. So yeah, but I kept them because, you know, Grippy sock live stream. So if you're first time in here, because check it out, I got approved to stream on Twitch, or not Twitch. I stream on Twitch anyway, but I got my Facebook page linked up here through Restream, and I am now officially streaming on TikTok for the first time. So I've got to do that a few times. I'm gonna do it anyway. What the heck? Why not? And yeah, by the way, TikTok, congratulations on surviving the purge of 2025. I have a lot of thoughts on that do not match up with anything anybody else has said. So I'm just going to shut up about it and enjoy being on TikTok. Just so you all know, where'd that go? Is it going to pop up here? That is not going to pop up here. You can chat from wherever you're at. Wherever you're watching this at, you can drop a comment and it'll pop up on my comment board here. If it's good, I'll put it up on the big screen so everybody else can look at it too. If you don't want it to go up there, I'll do my best to keep it from going up there. But if you got, you know, thoughts, comments, something like that, please feel free to share. That's what this is all about, right? Like, you know, I'm going to take a few pokes at my mental health state, fragile that it is, and, you know, hopefully help a few other people along the way too. So. But mostly, as always, I'm here to have a good time and maybe be informative or, you know, helpful. But mostly just have a good time. So anyhow, yeah, my stream is not how I wanted it to be. I am behind the power curve because the kid came home from college sick, went back sick. Wife took him back to college, and on her, like, she stayed up there for the weekend, and she was coming back Sunday night, and she's like, I don't know if I can make the drive home, I'm sick. I'm like, well, then don't make the drive, like, stay up there, don't get me sick too. So she came home, and it was like 3-4 days, and I'm like, stay over there, like, you know, trying to plastic wrap her into her side of the house. And no, about 4 days later, I came down with the crud too, and that I'm like, I'm just getting back on my feet and going. I can't afford to be knocked down. And yeah, it was about a week that I couldn't even see straight. Like I couldn't poke at the computer. I could barely type a text message. I didn't really feel like sicky sick. I wasn't sitting there with a bowl of ramen watching The Price is Right, but I wasn't up for doing anything. So it was, you know, munch on tater tots and watch, well, anything but The Price is Right. So I'm back. We're here to have some fun, have a good time. I did queue up some memes. It's not everything that I wanted it to be. I really have a bunch of great content. I just don't have it prepared. And you know, that's something that maybe if you're along this ride with me, maybe you'll get this, but it feels like a failing on my part because I really did want to go into this prepared, but I couldn't be prepared. But here I am, and now I feel dramatically exposed because I should have done my homework, and I quite legitimately could not do my homework. I'm overwhelmed with the stuff I've been trying to catch up on, and I'm still trying to catch up on that stuff, but I'm like, hey, I made a commitment. I'm running about 20 minutes behind what I said I was going to do, but, you know, hey, I'm here. that's what matters, and I can finish doing the rest of my homework a little bit later. Yeah, it's tough, man, because there's that big part of my brain that just screams, look, you can't do it perfect, don't do it, or you can't do it nearly as well as you want to, don't do it. And at the end of the day, I have to remember that, this is how I get better at stuff. Every master was once a disaster. I love that quote. I picked that up from Jay Massey from Cashflow Diary. Major props to him for that. But no, it's hard to face your own inadequacies about what you want to do and just get out there and do it. That's part of I'm just ripping the Band-Aid off. It sucks. I feel very bad that I'm not putting out the show that I should be putting out because I couldn't do my homework because I had other homework to do because I was sick, and I still haven't finished homework number 1, and here I am on homework number 2, and I'm like, whatever, just throw it out there and have a good time. So that's what we're going to do. Again, let me pop over here and we can bring that up, and the chat is open and you can chat from wherever you're watching at. So yeah, of course, now I've got 2 screens on here, which you can't see, and like I could bring it up, but there's no point. My horizontal live stream, it looks like it should. My vertical live stream should have my video on there, and it doesn't, and I don't know why. It's going to drive me nuts. So let me go over here into vertical sources. There we go. Can we pop up the camera? There we go. Hey, all right. So yeah, I've kind of fixed that on the fly. It's not what it should be. But anyhow, if you're watching over on TikTok or Twitch or LinkedIn, I'm shocked. Like, I have no problem streaming on LinkedIn, and I never get any engagement from there. I don't know. I need to focus on it in 2025. People on LinkedIn, they typically have jobs. So and then yeah, we're on my Facebook personal page. It's my more professional personal page, and my Facebook professional page, personal profile, professional page, there you go, and over on the YouTube as well. So as a heads up, I did come, that's it, fall down, crash, bang. I did make the decision over the holidays. I was thinking about it, and I'd done a live stream a couple months back, and I put in one of my normal funny clips, memes, whatever you want to call them, that like it was a clip out of a movie. It was funny, it was good. And Facebook's like, no, that's somebody else's, and just completely whammied my not just my stream, but my recording. Like, they cut off all the audio in it. And I'm like, no, just because I use a movie clip, you shouldn't, like, all the other crap that I'm seeing out on Facebook, you would ban me over a 15-second clip out of a movie that was absolutely hysterical and totally fit the conversation. No, absolutely not. So Facebook, I'm a little bit mad at you. So in the future here, as I get going, I do have the capability to sign off these accounts individually. So I'll start off on a wide broadcast, and then any platform that hammers one of my videos for something that's fun, I'll do a 5-minute intro and then cut that one off. So that's not going to happen on this one, I don't think. Maybe Facebook will say, I didn't like that, and nuke me. I don't know. But look, if that's the case, then they just made their case against themselves. And yeah, I'll make the first 5 minutes an intro and then cut it off, and y'all can follow me on Twitch or YouTube. YouTube's like, they're bad about music, but some of the other stuff they're okay with. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe we stay on Twitch and YouTube. LinkedIn just doesn't seem to care. They're like, please throw content on our platform. So I got the coffee, got the vape, got the Grippy socks. Let's get to some of the content here. I think I put it over here. Yeah. That I need to come up with another title slide, but that's kind of the idea. Is this going to work? I loaded it up. Are you going to work? Of course not. Man, see, I got to get this dialed in better. That's just all there is to it. Okay, we'll turn off the chat box and my question thing. Again, you can chat from wherever you're at. I'll see it. Is that going to work? Why? Okay, hold on. Here I go. Let me pop over here. Yeah, okay, that should be there. So, properties. So, oh, hey, there we go. Grippy Sock. There we go. Yes, it's the Grippy Sock live stream. Anyhow, yeah, let's get into some of the funny memes that I grabbed. I missed two that I really wanted, and I know they're on my phone and they're buried. So I was like, you know what? I'll just hit the internet for some of the ones that I know exist. So when your physical and mental health are both a mess, but you have a good day. I totally resemble that. And yeah, like, you know, if you feel like you need somebody to reach out to and talk to, please give me a ring. My phone number's all over everything. I've collected one veteran already. I got a couple of other brothers that I talk to on the regular just to make sure everybody's good. So, but yeah, you know, you can have a good day and still have problems. Me counseling my friends through their problems and me dealing with my own problems. God, if that isn't the truth. Like, what is it about the human condition that we are so good about giving advice? Like, oh yeah, I've been through that. Like, here's the wisdom of my experience. But man, when that's coming to us, we're like, no, I'll handle it on my own. We just get beat to hell over it. You know, I think that's a very common thing. So, you know, if you're that way too, it's cool, man. I think we're all like that. Starting to overthink an issue that is barely a problem and blowing it out of proportion. Yeah. Like it's one of those things. It's a practice. Does not mean you'll ever get good at it. It's one of those factors of life. If you have a tendency to overthink, you're not going to help yourself because you're always going to be overthinking stuff, and then you're going to be freaked out about the stuff you're overthinking about. Yeah, I know that one really well, if you can't tell. The practice is to just try to be present in the moment. I have no script. I have no teleprompter. We're just riffing. My therapist, when I don't want to tell them something embarrassing, knowing full well they'll get it out of me in another session. All right, then, keep your secrets. As I said earlier, I don't have a therapist. I would wind up in the Huggy jacket real quick. But yeah, I totally understand that though. Knowing you're being self-destructive, but you can't stop it. Yeah, but why did I have it? I'm in this photo and I don't like it. Please, somebody report this. Oh God, I'm just terrible, aren't I? Me on the verge of crying in therapy when my therapist says it's human nature to cry if upset. I reject nature. I totally do. Not allowed to do that stuff. You know, and I think, not that I'm going to dive too deep into this, but I think like guys, especially, brought up not to cry. You can't cry. There's no crying in baseball. You know, it's just, no, you can't do that. It doesn't matter what the trauma is. So we just kind of reject nature and keep going. Let's see. Me gets offended when my therapist says I constantly look for signals that confirm my fears. Also me. Look at all the things I'm looking with. Yeah, I feel that one too. Again, I try to be present and I try and be good. It's a practice. I am not always good. Me, 1 week after my first therapy session when I thought everything would get better automatically. I feel like a friggin' idiot. Yep. I think, yeah, totally feeling that vibe. Me, people I should absolutely not be attracted to. Oh God, yeah, I'm in that picture and I don't like it. I'm fortunate. I wound up with an awesome wife and like life's good, but whew, man, before that, oh, talk about a broken picker. Oh, and even at that, like with my wife, she's like, then how'd you wind up with me? Because I was like, here's my checklist of things that's broken about my picker. And I just did the George Costanza. I'm like, okay, if all of this sounds great and it's done nothing but like wreck my life, we're going to flip that and go, okay, here's the other things we need to be doing. So anyhow, yeah. And I think it's a compounding problem. You'll wind up being attracted to the people that'll break you more. And then you get more broken and then the cycle just repeats. So you got to find something to break that cycle. Anyhow, that feeling when you're oversharing in conversation, but you're not able to stop. Oh, I kind of feel like that's how this live stream's going to be. Yes, I'm enjoying my nicotine and caffeine. Sorry about that if it offends your finer sensibilities. However, it's my live stream. Y'all do what you want. All right. Me, when my therapist asks, and why do you feel that way? Good question. I don't know. They're feelings. They're nothing more than feelings. A lot of times we don't know. And, you know, that's what I've heard good things about therapy because it makes you examine these things. I don't have the meme for this one, but I totally loved it. It was, you know, a therapist, why don't we unpack that? And the patient going, no. I spent a lot of time packaging that up very nicely. We will not be unpacking that. So, yeah, you know, it's funny how robust the human psyche can be, but man, you get a little chink in that armor and yeah. Joke at my expense, my fragile mental stability. Yeah. See, it's like, I've got a great sense of humor. I'll do self-deprecating humor, but man, if somebody else says something, I'm like, but what did I do? And I think that's a pretty fair sentiment, you know, when you're struggling, it's like, you know, I'm trying. Please recognize that I'm at least trying. So, you know, if you're that way, it's okay. I gotcha. Yeah, let me put that back up too. There we go. Yeah, I've got my little keypaddy thing here. It's wonderful. I love it, but it's just close enough. My eyes can't quite focus on it. I'm like, okay, what am I looking for? What's that look like? So, but yeah, questions, comments, chat from wherever you're at. Like, if you love one of these memes, just let me know. I'm happy to share them. My mental illness when I'm hit with sensory overload on top of everything else. Yeah, clearly I have my own studio. It's in my house, but yeah, I've got, like, obviously the room's blacked out. You don't see windows because I blocked those off, and I've got nice insulation and everything. And I swear, I don't know why, but the second I go, okay, cool, I'm going in there and I'm going to tackle this thing. That's when the landscapers show up at the neighbor's property and the kids get out of school and they're out there screaming, and, you know, the neighbor over here is getting their roof done or something. And I'm like, I did my best to soundproof this room, and like, could it be more soundproof? Sure. If I built an extra wall around the outside and, like, you know, went really wild and crazy, but for what I've got, this is as good as it can get. And oh yeah, it just drives me nuts. Like, I'm clawing at the walls if I start hearing other stuff. So yeah, I feel that one. You can't be suffering from an emotional breakdown if you never sit down and self-assess your thoughts and feelings and live in constant agony. Whew, yeah, a lot of us do that. You know, at some point, like, you know, people talk about battling their demons, and then the people who are, you know, I don't know if it's good or bad, but they're like, nah, I just dance with them now. Like, there's no battling them, but you're just like, cool, I guess you're part of my psyche now. It's all right. And that also goes very much for the physical ailments too. Because, you know, the physical pain, your brain is trying to reason with itself and your body on how to deal with physical pain. So, you know, if you can keep busy and not think about it, it does help. But you know, that it only helps short term. You can't do that all the time. Yeah. Oh, now we're getting into the VA stuff. I know this because I actually tagged a few of the photos about the VA thing. VA mental health care professionals at work. So what seems to be the problem? Yeah, for my fellow veterans, that's, again, why I'm doing this on the 22nd of the month. We all have our problems with the VA system. Some people have great experiences across the board. That doesn't seem to be the consensus. I will say it's better than previous years. But yeah, all of us, every single person who raised their right hand and said, I do solemnly swear, and oh man, every single one of us went through MEPS, and in every single MEPS, there was some dude that made you do a duck walk and was looking at your butthole. And it's like, yeah, you have to go through that to be able to get in the system. It's the only job in the world that happens too. I don't know, there might be a different one. Me in the middle of a mental breakdown. Any attempt at consolation. Just, nope, nope. I'm having a bad day. It doesn't matter what you tell me. Oh God, I feel this. Oh, it's so bad. If you're watching this over on TikTok at some point in the future, I'm sorry that my feed, it doesn't look as good as it should. Again, it's something that I need to adjust. I just hadn't planned on it. I don't know, maybe TikTok's doing this landscape. I tried to have it set up so the vertical would work correctly. You know, wait, okay, so let's see. That's slide deck covers. Let's see if I can fix that on the fly here. I know the rest of you are like, but wait, where are you going, dude? No, there's what, 3 people watching? No, not even. I got one. It's Mom. Hi, Mom. Mom's watching over on Twitch, which I think is hysterical. Oh, nope, I did not want to do that, did I? Okay, well, we'll just bring you back there. That can stay there, and... Oh, slideshows. There we go. That's the one I want to be able to move. And oh, almost there. Oh, yeah, there we go. OBS for the win, man. I don't know. I struggle. I try and do good. I try and do good every time, but sometimes things just don't go how you want them to. Anyhow, there we go. That should be a little bit better if you're watching this on a vertical format later. Yeah, there we go. Opening up in therapy, but realizing you're saying stuff that will just get you admitted. Hold up. That's why a lot of us avoid going to counseling or therapy or anything like that. Because, man, if you can't tell, I've got a little buffer area where I can joke about stuff, which I know is a defensive tactic. But no, I do not talk about the stuff over here, because, you know, like, I remember when I was getting out of the military in transition assistance class, one of the things they had was, you know, the stress it was like a written test to figure out what your stress level should be, and they're like, changing job, yes, moving, yes, you know, like all of the potential risk factors, and you know, they're like, you know, on a score of 25, what'd you hit? And I'm like, 38. Dude, you're not supposed to do that. That's where I'm at, you know. Like, so, you know, most of the time you just don't talk about these things, because if, you know, you acknowledge them, then people start looking at you funny, like, what do you mean? Like, are you okay? Apparently I'm still functioning, you know, like, I haven't lost my mind. I'm not out screaming in traffic. So far, I guess I'm okay. So yeah, that's why a lot of us don't open up, and that's part of the reason I wanted to do this, to encourage my fellow veterans. Like, even if you, or, you know, even if you're a civilian, like, you don't necessarily have to go to a therapist or a counselor, or, you know, anything like that. Just find yourself a battle buddy that you can kibitz with and go, you know, man, this aspect of my life, or, you know, this thought is really screwing me up. Sweet. I'll, you know, find somebody who will listen to you, sympathize, empathize, whatever. And, you know, if you ask for advice, then cool, man. Like, you know, hey, my wife keeps stabbing me. Yeah, that's a problem, dude. Are you looking for a solution for that? Yeah. Okay, you need to divorce her. You know, like, it's okay. But, you know, a lot of people don't have that support system. So if you're in a good place, be the battle buddy for the person who may not be in the good place, and vice versa. Like, if you're not in a good place, then yeah, dude, like, go find yourself somebody who's in a better place, or, you know, same, and y'all try and work through some of this stuff together, or, you know, maybe go, hey, look, this is way above what I feel capable of dealing with you, and that's okay, man. Like, let's see, like, if you want me to go to an appointment with you, like, if one of my friends called me up and said, dude, I think I need to go to the head shrinker, can you please come with me? Hell yeah, I'll go. Like, no judgment, I've got my own problems. So excuse me. So yeah, like, it's a thing. You want to open up that much, you do not want to get the huggy jacket. Oh yeah, the devil. Come on, just let me create one thing. Oh, for Pete's sake. Jackpot. Created the VA, Department of Veterans Affairs Medical. Oh, dude. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Veterans. Look, I've been around the world, okay? Whatever it is, I'll understand. Veterans Affairs. There's nothing about this that I understand. Like, and I think a lot of us feel that way. Like, maybe I should go through the onboarding thing, even though I've been dealing with it for a little while. But yeah, my very first experience at the VA was nightmarish. And I swore I would never go back, and here I am going back. But that was 20 years ago, and even at that, I still have a really bitter taste in my mouth about it. And so far, like I'll be completely honest, I had some physical problems this past year that are still not resolved. And every time I go in, they're like, okay, how you feeling? I'm like, I still have this problem, and this is what I've done about it, and this is what. Okay, that's nice, but we're just going to draw your blood and send you home and see you in 2 months. And I'm like, can you fix the problem that's trying to kill me, please? So, I don't know what kind of special stuff you got to do, but I should totally find out. If I can find out. Dude, why are you so down on government-run healthcare? Because I'm a veteran? Yeah. 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 Living with PTSD, anxiety, depression, loneliness, hopelessness, and flashbacks. Getting care at the VA. This is fine. Oh God, I can't help but laugh. That's it. Like that's you either laugh or break down and crying, and I'm a guy, I can't cry. There are very few things I can cry over. And yeah, that's not one of them. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of this cold. Just a touch, just enough to make me feel like I'm being ground down a little bit. But yeah. And again, your mileage may vary. Maybe you're at a VA, a different state or something, and they're wonderful, or you get a great doc here, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have warm fuzzies. But I may not have warm fuzzies, but I got Grippy socks. Oh yeah, y'all wonder like why I won't go see a shrink. That's fine. Welcome to Veterans Affairs Disability, where your injuries are ignored and you don't matter. Yeah. I all I can say is I'm praying my wife does not watch this, because she has been after me about my disability application, and I'm like, why? Like they can't even fix me to the point that I can go to a doctor and like step through this stuff. So, and honestly, the thing they did that made me feel better was it was incidental to what they were trying to do. So I don't have a lot of faith in all of this, but so this is my thing for this upcoming year. It is on my to-do list. I finally got signed up with the American Legion. And I got another point of contact who works primarily up in Pasco. But yeah, I'm going to get hooked up with the Veteran Service Organization, which is the American Legion. And I'm going to get myself a good point of contact locally with them. And I got to get my disability filed. I mean, I'm broken, clearly. Nothing I talk about, but I'm still quite a bit broken. And yeah, it's time to at least file for it. But yeah, I just want to scream every time somebody brings it up in front of my wife, because she's like, go get that. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. I love you. I get it. But right now I'm just trying to stay alive, and please don't let the VA kill me in the meantime. Like the disability thing, that's not even on my radar, but I think I'm going to have to make a point of it and go file for my dang disability stuff. And I think a big part of that too is when I was in, which that was a long time ago now, man, you could show up with an arrow through your head, and military medical would go, we don't care who you are, you were never here, get out. And and go back to the dorms, and somebody pour a fifth of vodka down your throat and hammer the arrow out and patch you up, and you'd be at work the next morning. And that's how things were dealt with. Like it didn't matter how bad off you were, you'd never, like, God, you had to be really bad off to see an actual doctor. And medical records, they weren't writing a damn thing down. And, after about the third, fourth time, you're like, I'm really broken. I need to see somebody. And they're like, no. Look, I had a really bad tooth because they screwed up. They yanked my wisdom teeth. They chipped the tooth in front of it, really bad. So it got a cavity. And I'm like, I know it was not even, I think 2 days after I sobered up from having my wisdom teeth taken out. And I'm like, hey, y'all nicked the tooth in front of it. This is a problem already. It's going to be worse of a problem. And like, they just kept hanging up on me. Nope, don't have any appointments. Don't have any appointments. So it wound up being an entire year. And I got called in for my annual, and they took a look at that tooth and they're like, that's a problem. Why didn't you call us? I've been calling every week trying to get an appointment for a year now. Oh, well, we got to fix that. Really? That could kill you. You could have an infection. Really? So, that's just one little anecdote. So, they're like, hey, make sure you have your medical records. I'm like, what medical records? Like, I have my DD-214 that shows that I was in the military. Outside of that, I don't think they kept any paperwork. And even at that, you learn not to complain about anything because they were just going to ignore you and kick you out anyway. So, I don't have anything because there was no point in trying to get anything because they weren't going to listen. You couldn't even get in the door. So I don't know how that's going to play, but, I don't have a lot of faith that I could get disability, but we'll see how that shakes out. And you know what? Maybe I should update that on, as time goes on over this year. So anyhow, well, moving on. Depression, anxiety, past trauma, problems. My friend sending me memes. I got one of those guys, and well, actually I've got several of those, but like, look, you don't have to do some grand gesture, you don't have to stand outside my house with a boombox. I mean, if you do, play Wham, but send me memes. That's all I ask in life. Send me memes, man, put a smile on my face. I got a buddy. We do that on the daily. Like, if I don't see anything from him in about 3 days, I'm going, dude, are you okay? And yeah, like, especially veterans, please send me the most offensive shit that you've got. I love the offensive stuff. Up to a point, there's a line. It's pretty far down there, but babies and animals, that's no, unless it's something cute, but yeah, I don't want to see anything bad about those, so I'll leave it at that. But anything else, please give it to me. But hey, find yourself a battle buddy or a group of them and send them funny memes. Like, we need that, especially if it's broken stuff. Speaking of which, one of the awesome guys that I'm following on several platforms, Austin, he does a lot of good military humor stuff, and it's just the truth of the matter. And I like watching Austin's stuff because he's hysterical. He's a little bit dry, sense of humor, but it's very true, and we can all identify with it. So I think a big component of trying to at least maintain or keep your head above water with your mental health, it's like with your physical health. Like, if all you're doing is eating Doritos and pizza, that's going to catch up to you. Same thing with your mental health. Like, it's okay. Like, every once in a while, sad songs are going to come on the radio. Try not to stay there, though. Try and get some happy, positive stuff going, and maybe you can hook into that. It might take a little bit longer, but being able to laugh at life and keeping a better positive attachment to positive things. I mean, it doesn't mean that the negative stuff isn't there, but it turns the volume way down. At least for me, turns the volume way down. And I like to laugh. That's just kind of dude I am. I think if you've been in the military, you can't help but laugh at a lot of the absurdity. It's the old joke about, what was it like working in the military? Well, okay, so you got a big bowl of soup and you got 30 guys. And your boss comes in and says, we got to eat this soup or nobody gets to go home. And you go, great. And you grab a spoon and your boss goes, absolutely not. You have to use a fork. But boss, the spoon, that's literally what it's meant for, is to eat soup. Nope. Can't do that. We're all using forks today. Yeah, that, yeah. Anybody who's been in the military can 100% understand that. So you would think we wouldn't flame out quite so bad in civilian jobs because we're used to that level of stupidity in life. But, you know, it's true. Anyhow, let's see. Mom's still watching on Twitch. Thank you, Mama. Love you. My mom's awesome. Yeah, like I feel for anybody who doesn't like have that support system around them, and that's what I'm here for. You know, this is my small part. Make you laugh a little bit. And okay, so I don't have the slide. That's the end of my slides. There we go. Go back. There we go. All right. That's the end of my slides. But, you know, if you're having a bad day, you need to call somebody. 988 on your phone. I need a slide for this, but I don't have one. I'm sorry. 988 on your phone. If you're a veteran, you can press 1 immediately, and that'll connect you to a crisis line. Fair warning, though, of the stupid things in life. I can't believe I've got to give this disclaimer because I literally saw it on one of my veterans groups. Make sure that you don't cuss. They will hang up. Like, what a stupid thing. Okay, first of all, if you're calling the crisis line, now, mind you, I know there's some frequent flyers who just do it for attention or, you know, whatever, like that does happen. You know, some people, they want to talk to a human being, so they'll call that. So, okay, fine, like, whatever. But even on a normal crisis line, if somebody calls you up and is like, I'm fucking over it, you should be good with that language. Like, you're catching them on what's probably one of the worst days of their life. Cussing is to be expected. At least I would think it would be. Especially for the veterans line, because, you know, you go to basic training or boot camp and you come home 2-3 months later and like every word is an F-bomb. That's all there is to it. And so to say, hey, we're catching you on the worst day of your life, but you absolutely cannot curse. What? Like on the civilian line, that would be a stupid policy there, but on a veteran line, dumbest shit ever. And yeah, there was somebody on one of the veterans groups. That's what they'd done. They were having a really bad crisis moment, and they called them up, and they're like, I'm having a really bad fucking day. And they went, we don't accept that language, and hung up on them. And I'm like, what? like literally, how does that work? And if somebody reviewed that tape of that person, like, I mean, they have their policy. Well, they cussed. I couldn't deal with it. No, man. Just no, that is like the worst thing ever. So fortunately, they posted up on the veterans group, and they said, you know, it was a little bit of there's a pattern interrupt is the term I'm looking for. And they're like, okay, like on the one hand, yeah, it pisses you off. On the other hand, it is so absurd that you can't help but laugh at it. But yeah, I mean, it was a veteran in crisis. Like, answer the phone and whatever falls out of their mouth, you just deal with it. That's why you're working the veterans crisis line, man. So yeah, if you got to call it, it's 988 for civilian, 988, and then 1 if you're a veteran. Please use that number if you're in a bad way on a bad day, man. Do that. Just remember not to cuss. I've also seen, I didn't have my shit together today, and I apologize. But I did take the picture the last time I was at the VA medical facility, and yeah, they've got the banners out there that, you know, we won't accept foul language. And I'm like, this is a VA medical facility. The fuck do you think is going to come out of these veterans' mouths? Do you think it's like going to church? No, it's not. Again, veterans and medical stuff. Of course they're going to cuss. But yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll just deny you treatment and kick you out if you cuss. And I'm like, oh my God. It is bizarro world. I don't have any, like, there's nothing else to be able to say about it. It is bizarro world that this is a thing. And again, you can laugh about it because that's about all you can do. But like, what the hell changed that you went veteran to, oh, you can't cuss? No, I'm not in church. I'm here to get roto-rooted or something. Like, please. And we'll say for the most part, they're lax on that policy. They're just, I think it's just they don't want verbal abuse of people. But, you know, then again, sometimes like all of that medical staff there, they are all human. Some have good days, some have bad. Some are fucking morons. Yeah, I said that. And yeah, some of them, they do need some verbal wall-to-wall counseling. No two ways about it. And veterans are very good about being able to dish that out. So, you know, if you don't like it, maybe that's not the job for you. There's usually a McDonald's not too far around the corner from where a VA medical facility is. So, you know, it might be more your speed, man. Anyhow, yeah, that's I know. Oh, here we go. Jesus is watching me. Oh, I have way too much fun with this stuff. Go away, Jesus. So, yeah. Anyhow, I don't know how we got to Bizarro World where it's not okay for veterans to cuss at, like, again, even if they're abusive. Generally speaking, they have a good reason to be abusive. Like, we don't come out of the gate being abusive. Sometimes we do. That just means we're having a bad day. That's all there is to it. Again, something else I find wonderful about my wife, I am usually pretty cranky, especially until I've got through about my first cup of coffee of the day, or first pot of coffee of the day. I'm usually pretty cranky. And even after that, I'm still pretty cranky. You want me to be a bundle of sunshine when I go to see a doctor? I'm not inclined to see doctors as it is. So yeah, things are just bizarre, man. Like you would figure that out of all the places you would expect that kind of behavior, that would not be an unreasonable place. A hospital and or a veteran hospital, especially a veteran hospital, or the Veterans Crisis Line, or even the Crisis Line. Totally understandable if you're off the chain that day. So anyhow, yeah, it's interesting times. I don't know how we got here. I don't like it. Hopefully it changes back. And you know, that all that being said, look, I know there's a lot of stressors out there for everybody. Sometimes it's, you know, the holidays. Some people it's the election and the outcome and all the shit. Best thing I can tell you, that helps lead to inner peace is how much of that is actually my problem. Sucks to be lonely in the holidays. Like, I get that. But, you know, all the external stuff, like if you're watching it on TV or on your phone, it probably doesn't directly affect you. And it might. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just saying don't give it any more weight than you really need to. Handle your own stuff. Like, we got plenty of our own stuff to deal with in life. Ben Franklin said, actually lobbied to have the motto of the U.S. be "Mind your business." The older I get, the more I find there's a lot of wisdom in that. You know, I got my plate of stuff that I need to deal with, that I need to worry about. If it's outside of that level of control, do I have any reason to bring it inside? The chances that are probably no. There are very few things that would warrant that. And, you know, basically, if you piss me off or mess with my family, all right, guess what? Game on. The rest of the time, I'm like, you know, the world's nuts. The world's always been nuts. I'm not going to get wrapped around the axle about it. So, you know, call that more enlightened, call that more stoic or zen or whatever you want to, but seems to work pretty decently for me. You know, there are things that I do really want some help with, physical stuff especially. That's why I keep going to the VA. But you know, there's only so much I can do about that. You know, when they tell me they got my next appointment is 2 months out, I just found out I should be able to get community care or a community care referral if it's more than 30 days out. I wish I'd known that a year ago. Because, yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll see you in 2 months. I'm like, Doc, I'm literally, like, I feel like I'm dying here. Yeah, whatever, we'll see you in 2 months. Yeah, so, yeah, I was like, come on, man, you can do better than this. And then I called up my doc. I'm like, how do I get into the community care? Oh, we don't do that. And just hung up on me. I'm like, oh. So, rumor has it, I have somebody in my sphere of people I know also had the exact same doctor I did. And he said that that doctor has since been fired for unknown reasons, but I would presume that would be one of them. So, yeah, good times, man. Good times. Let's see, how am I doing? Look at that. Okay, so apparently my video background thing, like right now I've got it's a static background. It's just a picture behind my camera here. A lot of times I'll do a video background. Like, let's pop over here for a second. Let's go. That should show through. Yeah, you can see the little wavy particles off on the side there. Yeah, that cranks my render time. So I'm just watching my stats while I do this too. But, you know, the sad thing is the other one looks so cool, man. I may have to wait until I upgrade my computer. But anyhow, let's see. What have I been on now? I can look down here too. 45 minutes. All right. I think that's pretty good. I also realized why I had this set up for 4, because I usually do my real estate live stream at 6. So gives me plenty of time. Come in here, BS, do my thing, get off, refill my coffee, make the dog dinner, get back on for the real estate live stream. So that'll be coming up at 6 p.m. Once again, I did not do my homework, so I don't expect that to be anything wild and crazy. Probably just kind of similar to this, but if you did tune in, mama, definitely. Anybody else who does see this later, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget your grippy socks in life. And yeah, if you need help, you know, the best advice I can give you is to get a battle buddy, get a decent support network around you. It doesn't have to be anything formal. There's plenty of us out there, like on any of the veterans groups that I've seen on Facebook. One person will say, I'm having a rough day. Anybody got, like, you know, something you can, and man, the one, it was like 10 minutes. The guy's like, hey, peace out. And within 10 minutes, there was 100 comments and somebody had already posted up, hey, we got him on the phone. And I'm like, that's a hell of a support network there. And like, I guess somebody was already driving to the guy's house. And I'm like, damn, that's a better response time than, you know, 911. Jesus. So, you know, hook up with your veteran brothers and sisters, find somebody you connect with, send memes, or whatever else works for you that puts a smile on your face that isn't illegal. And you know, try and let some shit go. That part's hard. And try to focus on the things that make you happy. It seems overly simplistic, but long term, that kind of works. And if you're so inclined as to get into therapy, totally recommend it. Just, you know, be careful with what you tell them. Nobody wants to wear the white grippy jacket, man. That's why I don't go. Anyhow, thanks for joining me on the first ever Grippy Sock live stream. Tell your friends, 22nd of every month, I'll be back on, and hopefully I can get a little bit more interaction on the next ones. I did not publicize this one very much, but I will for next month, and I promise you I'll do my homework and get it together.